Good day, my name is Joe, one half of Board Games for Two. Today we'll be doing my top 10 games as of 2023 for 2 players. Now once again, these are just my opinions. A lot of these games I enjoy in different aspects, but these are my favorite games for 2 players as of 2023. Now let's get to the list. So we'll do a little honorable mention. We do have Kingdom Death that we do enjoy. Not as accessible to everybody. Expensive, sometimes can be hard to find. But the experience you have with 2 players, each controlling 2 characters, is really a good time. If a character gets knocked out during the encounter, at least they still have one more. Where I have played with 4 players before, and when somebody gets knocked out, they just kind of sit there for a little bit and can control the monster, but that's not near as fun. So, honorable mention, Kingdom Death for 2. Now coming in at number 10, a just 2-player game that my wife really enjoys, Seven Wonders Duel. Now Seven Wonders Duel is a quick game. We've brought it on a lot of vacations, a lot of trips that we do where we can just kind of set it up and play in a small table size. It takes us about 30 to 40 minutes to play a game. That's from setup to play to pick up. It's just a nice little 2-player game. Doesn't quite encapsulate the full Seven Wonders feel, but it's in its game of its own, and we've really enjoyable for 2 players. Coming in at number 9, doesn't get to the table often. It is in digital form that I've played on trips before, but when we do get it out, it's a lot of fun. It's Through the Ages. Now this is a game I probably wouldn't play with more players because of how long it would take, and this is kind of a theme throughout this list, as I really enjoy the 2-player back and forth aspect with very little downtime, but building your civilization, deciding what cards, watching the cards just go down the list, and really needing to plan out your turn and your future turns to grow your population to get as many victory points as you can. Through the Ages is a really fun game for me and my wife for 2 players. It wouldn't be me if I didn't add a miniatures kind of game to this list. And it's a little bit more, it's not the game for everybody. It's not a game everybody will enjoy. But Star Wars Armada. So it's just one player can play as the Empire, one player can play as the Rebels, and I like the Star Wars theme, but maneuvering ships in the direction of they can only have so many clicks in certain directions. Some of the bigger ships move very slow. Smaller ships can maneuver about. You're firing at different angles with all the little ships around. It really feels like an epic conflict to me. There's a lot of dice checking. There's a lot of pre kind of game stuff you need to take care of before you get to the table. But once you get it to the table and start moving ships, it's very enjoyable. Like I said, this isn't really for everybody, but I really enjoy the miniatures game, dice chucking, doing some damage, blowing some stuff, taking stuff off the board. It's just a lot of fun for me, Star Wars Armada. Number 7, kind of a newer game, a strictly 2-player game again, and it is SkyTeam. So SkyTeam, we've just had a good time with it. I played with Paul from Dads and Dice. I played with my wife. Just a lot of fun, when you get to the table. It is a little bit like, that has that spades element where you need to be on the same page as your partner. If you place the dice down and they have to be able to kind of read the table, read your mind about the other dice to place down. So it's a really good back and forth. The pilot and co-pilot have varying actions. Just a really neat game with 2. And I would put this a little bit above Seven Wonders Duel as I have, because it's a nice travel size game, high replayability. It's a cooperative game, which you'll see. I do have a couple on this list, but a lot of fun we have had with SkyTeam. Number 6, about to hit the top 5. I just played this last month. Once again, this doesn't hit the table too often, but when it does, it just hits because it's a lot of fun, is Le Havre. So Le Havre is kind of a worker placement game, but you're also city building, resource collection, trying to just get the most francs by the end of the game. Build your ships, place your board, kind of jump kind of jump movement on the resources that come out onto the board. Just a lot in this game. Why this game is so high is because it's just so fast. The turns are so fast. You do one action, you get your resources, the next person moves their ship, puts a couple resources out there, and does the same thing. You know, from building to shipbuilding, the game is pretty quick, but there's a lot to it, a lot of decisions to be made, and the variable setup on when the buildings come out is a lot of fun for 2 players. On to my number 5. This could be the biggest game that we have table-wise, and that is War of the Ring. We really enjoy this game, and I really enjoy this game just because to me there's just enough randomness. The cards you play, you know, really can drive the game. The heroes that we remember in Lord of the Rings, you can recreate the story or kind of forge your new. What if Frodo went this way instead of, you know, this way to the Balrog? What if he took the long way around? There's a lot of fun, you know, kind of the bag manipulation near the end when Frodo gets close to Mount Doom. But as the, you know, the evil player, you have a massive amount of forces that you're moving around the board, all trying to siege, you know, some of the strongholds by the Free People's player. So a great 2-player game. It is on the long side. It's going to take you about 4 hours. But for me especially, I always have a good time with this game. And getting into top 4, a kind of newer game that was refreshed by an expansion this year is Ark Nova. And to me, this kind of just beats out and kind of takes the place of the Terraforming Mars for the 2-player. I can build my own board while the other person across from me builds their own board. We're not really competing for too many things except for that card row in the middle. And with the Marine Worlds expansion, it really added a lot to this game. The card row gets refreshed more with 2 players. There's a couple just differences with 2 players. But even the actions that you get with the action cards are really neat and add a lot to this game. So Ark Nova for just a kind of a animal collection, you know, Terraforming Mars-esque. There's a tiny bit of engine building, but I wouldn't say that is the main aspect of this game. But just a nice theme that I really enjoy to get to the table. And number 3 as the second Star Wars game on the list, kind of a bigger game as well, Star Wars Rebellion. I just enjoy the cat and mouse kind of aspect of this game. I play as the Rebels. My wife plays as the Empire. She loves having all these ships moving around and just trying to find that person on the board. It is just a fun moving around the board. Once again, having the cards, the Ameritrash, you got your event deck, you don't know quite what's coming up, dice rolling for combat, all these little ploys, but good stories come out of this game. Nice thematic. One time, I think, Shelby was trying to, take Han Solo and bring him to the dark side and was almost there. And then all of a sudden, Chewie sweeps in with the Millennium Falcon and saves him and really alters the gameplay. Just the thematic moments in this game is one that I really enjoy. And number 2, a lot of people are going to disagree with me. A lot of people may not have even heard of this game. A little bit older game. Some people may say it's dry, but to me, it is an epic strategy game. The Colonists. So, The Colonists is a long game. It is a slow burn. But it is just so much fun for me, for 2 players, where you are growing the area that you can do the worker actions in is so much fun. It's slow, it's a slog, but as you grow this area and you grow your own little town with different merchants and people and workers, it is just a great experience. I know it's a little bit more dry. A lot of people aren't going to quite hit at the same level with this one, and it is a long game. This one would take probably about 6 hours for the entire game. You can play in multiple sittings, but a 4-era game takes about 6 hours. So much fun for me though, because I can look back at the end and say, look what we've built. That's what I like about some of these games when we're truly building something, is look at the town, look how it evolved, over the course. Look at my player area, look at your player area, look how much we have done. So a nice little colony building game in the Colonists. So number 1, this is the game I will always play with 2. Devin from Dads and Dice plays with me every chance we can, and I'll play anybody, anywhere, cooperatively with this, and this is Spirit Island. There are so many spirits, there's so much replayability in all this, the cooperative nature of playing cards, the initial dread, yes, the game kind of ramps up and kind of reaches this climax point where you can win or lose or not, but it's just so much fun getting there. It's so much fun deciding and working with somebody. A lot of the cooperative games, there can be an alpha player, but in this game, you don't have enough mind space to really have that alpha player, because you need to focus on all of your options as you put things on the board and decide, I can take care of this, I can take care of this, ooh, this is gonna get some blight this turn. It's a lot of fun with 2 players. To me, this is a great intimate experience that you can just have and grow and just play and have a good time. There's various levels of difficulty. There's various scenarios, tons of spirits. Every board's different. You never know what cards are going to come out. So much variability in this game that the replayability is very high. This is my number 1 game for 2. I don't think I would play it with 3, because I just think with 2, you can manage both sides. You can have that, you can progress. You can go to the higher levels. You know what they're capable of. But, when you get kind of to the higher player counts, there's just some areas on the board you just can't do anything about. But with 2, everything's always within reach. So, Spirit Island, my favorite game for 2, and I think that'll hold the top spot for a while. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, just my top 10 games for 2 players. Like I said, this is just an opinion. Would love to hear yours. My wife has her own, list, but this is my personal list that I love with 2 players. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time.